America's favorite sitcom almost didn't survive its own groundbreaking success. I Love Lucy changed TV history and kept us laughing for decades. But behind the laughs, there were secrets, scandals, and a controversial scene. Everything that played a part in the show's sudden cancellation. Stick around as we uncover the untold stories of Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, and the iconic series that reshaped television. Trust me, after this, you'll never see I Love Lucy the same way again. A historic show. I Love Lucy wasn't just about laughter, it was about breaking every rule in the book. It changed television forever. From its debut on October 15, 1951, to its final episode on May 6, 1957, the series brought the hilarious cast into the homes of millions. Lucy Ricardo's wild schemes to crash into Ricky's nightclub act weren't just comedy gold. They actually reflected the ambitions and struggles of everyday people, wrapped in the hilarity of sitcom antics. But I Love Lucy wasn't just another sitcom. Thanks to cinematographer Carl Freund, it was the first scripted show filmed on 35mm in front of a live audience. That groundbreaking decision gave the series its unique energy and helped preserve its timeless charm. Add to that its boldness. It featured a real-life interracial couple, Ball and Arnaz, as the stars, a rarity in 1950s America. Even after its original run ended, the series refused to fade. Unbelievably, 40 million Americans still tune into reruns annually. It has also gained accolades like being voted the best TV show of all time in a 2012 survey. I Love Lucy is more than iconic. It's television history. Before we talk about the controversial end, let's look at a few other shocking secrets from the iconic show. Not a happy couple. Fred and Ethel Mertz may have been comedy partners, but behind the scenes, their real-life relationship was anything but sitcom sweet. There was reported tension between William Frawley and Vivian Vance, with rumors suggesting that their relationship was strained. On screen, their playful insults and exasperated glances brought laughs. Off-screen, the barbs were less scripted and far more personal. Vance reportedly referred to Frawley as an old poop. Frawley reportedly used unflattering terms like old fat ass. Their age gap, nearly 20 years, only added fuel to the fire. Vance was reportedly unhappy about being paired with an actor she felt was too old to believably play her husband. Rumors swirled that the duo was offered a spin-off series after I Love Lucy wrapped, but if true, Vance nixed the idea, adamantly refusing to work with Frawley ever again. Their co-stars, including Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, were aware of the tension. They reportedly didn't fully grasp the daily stress the pair endured until long after the cameras stopped rolling. Some accounts suggest the media may have blown their rivalry out of proportion. Their relationship may have been more love-hate than outright hostile. Still, their snarky off-screen dynamic added a layer of authenticity to their on-screen chemistry. It made Fred and Ethel one of TV's most memorable duos. Whether the animosity was real or exaggerated, one thing is clear. Their friction played a pivotal role in creating comedy gold. Just don't expect them to grab coffee together after the director yells, "Cut!" forgetting her lines. What do you get when you mix 23% alcohol, a tongue-twisting script, and TV's funniest redhead? A comedy classic and one of Lucille Ball's biggest challenges. The I Love Lucy episode, Lucy Does a Commercial, is often hailed as one of the show's most hilarious moments. In it, Lucy Ricardo takes on a gig as the spokesperson for Vita Miata Vegamin. This is a tonic loaded with a surprising secret ingredient: alcohol. Lucy repeatedly samples the product during her on-camera pitch. As she does, she becomes increasingly intoxicated. She begins to start slurring her words and stumbling through the script in classic Lucy fashion. While the scene had audiences rolling, it was no laughing matter for Lucille Ball. Known as a meticulous performer, Ball wasn't big on improvisation. Memorizing the script's garbled lines, riddled with intentionally mispronounced words, proved to be a real test of her skills. The pressure of delivering the perfect comedic performance weighed on her, so much so that she later admitted this episode was among her least favorites to film. Despite her nerves, Ball nailed the performance, cementing the scene as a fan favorite. Her exaggerated drunken delivery and impeccable timing turned Vita Mita Vegaman into one of the most iconic moments in television history. But behind the scenes, it was a different story. Ball's anxiety over flubbing the lines was a reminder that even a comedy legend could be her own toughest critic. This episode is a testament to Ball's dedication to her craft. She took her fears and turned them into a masterclass in physical comedy. So the next time you hear someone ask, "Are you tired, run down, listless?" remember that the magic of Lucy Does a Commercial came at the cost of plenty of sweat and maybe a few extra rehearsals. Poking fun at the accent. Before I Love Lucy became a groundbreaking television phenomenon, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz faced an uphill battle. They had to convince studio executives that audiences would embrace their real-life marriage on screen. Ball was already a rising star thanks to her hit radio show My Favorite Husband, and CBS was eager to transition her success to television. But when Ball insisted that her Cuban-born husband, Desi Arnaz, play her on-screen spouse, the studio balked. Executives doubted that 1950s viewers would accept Arnaz's thick Cuban accent or his foreign identity as believable in a marriage to an all-American woman like Ball. They claimed audiences wouldn't buy their chemistry. The irony? Lucy and Desi had been happily married for nearly a decade by then. Determined to prove the skeptics wrong, the couple took matters into their own hands. In 1950, they launched a live club act combining Ball's comedic genius with Arnaz's musical flair. The act was an instant hit, earning rave reviews and winning over audiences nationwide. CBS took notice and gave the green light to a sitcom starring both Ball and Arnaz. Their gamble paid off. I Love Lucy became a cultural juggernaut, with Ball and Arnaz's real-life dynamic translating into comedic gold. Interestingly, while Desi's accent often became a comedic element on the show, there was an unspoken rule: only Lucy could poke fun at it. This added a layer of authenticity to their dynamic, making the humor endearing rather than mean-spirited. By standing firm, Lucy and Desi launched one of the most beloved shows of all time. But they also shattered stereotypes, proving that love and laughter could transcend cultural barriers. Not moving. What do you do when your sitcom is set in New York, but you refuse to leave Los Angeles? If you're Lucy and Desi, you revolutionized television production. When I Love Lucy secured funding from Philip Morris, one question loomed. Would Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz relocate to New York to match the show's setting? While it seemed natural to film in the Big Apple, the couple had no interest in leaving Los Angeles, the heart of the entertainment industry. Ball didn't mince words, declaring, "If I had to go to New York to do television, I'd stay here and do pictures instead." This impasse led to a groundbreaking solution that changed television forever. The Arnazes and CBS decided to film the show in Los Angeles, but make it look as polished as possible for New York audiences. Enter the three-camera filming technique, first developed by producer Jerry Fairbanks and later refined by Al Simon. While Arnaz didn't invent this system, he was instrumental in championing its use for I Love Lucy, ensuring a higher quality final product. The production team filmed the episodes live in front of a Los Angeles studio audience using 35mm film. This was a significant upgrade from the standard 16mm used for most TV productions at the time. The high-quality footage was then shipped to New York for broadcast. This allowed the show to maintain its East Coast setting while staying firmly rooted in Hollywood. This innovation resolved the location dilemma, but also paved the way for countless other sitcoms to adopt the three-camera system. While the myth that Arnaz invented the technique is exaggerated, there's no denying I Love Lucy became its most famous success story. It cemented the show's place as a trailblazer in television history. Lucy and Desi's refusal to compromise didn't just serve their careers, it reshaped how television was made. Smoking backers. Ever notice how cigarettes seem to appear in nearly every scene of I Love Lucy? There's a reason for that, and it all comes down to a game-changing deal with Philip Morris. When I Love Lucy first launched, securing advertisers proved to be a significant challenge. Without financial backing, the future of the show looked bleak. But everything changed when cigarette giant Philip Morris came on board as the show's primary sponsor. Their sponsorship saved the series and left a lasting impact on its visual style and storytelling. As part of the deal, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz filmed commercials for Philip Morris, often aired during the program's breaks. The cigarette company's influence didn't stop there. Smoking was woven into the fabric of the show itself. Cigarettes appeared in nearly every scene, used as props by the characters or subtly placed in the background. This wasn't accidental. The prevalence of smoking aimed to portray it as part of the good life, aligning with Philip Morris's branding strategy. While today's viewers might find this jarring, in the 1950s, such blatant product placement was commonplace and even welcomed. For Philip Morris, this approach proved highly effective, as I Love Lucy became a cultural phenomenon with millions tuning in every week. The sponsorship solidified the show's financial stability and helped elevate it into one of the most successful sitcoms of all time. The partnership also reflects a fascinating chapter in television history, where sponsors wielded immense influence over programming. Although the show's reliance on cigarettes may feel dated today, it's a reminder of how advertising shaped early TV, and how I Love Lucy overcame its rocky start to become a trailblazer for sitcoms everywhere. Not sure about Fred. The iconic Fred Mertz almost wasn't played by William Frawley. That's right, casting the grumpy but lovable landlord was a roller coaster behind the scenes. When William Frawley heard the role of Fred Mertz was still up for grabs, he wasted no time. The 64-year-old actor personally called Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz to campaign for the part after the original choice fell through. Despite his eagerness, casting Frawley was far from an easy decision. Lucille Ball initially had her sights set on B. Benaderet and Gail Gordon, two actors she'd worked with on her radio show, My Favorite Husband. Unfortunately, their schedules didn't align. Another strong contender, James Gleason, was also considered, but his salary demands exceeded the show's budget. That's when Frawley entered the picture. CBS executives were hesitant. Frawley's reputation for heavy drinking and alleged unreliability raised red flags. However, Ball, Arnaz, and producer Jess Oppenheimer saw something in him. They decided to take a chance, and Frawley didn't disappoint. Desi Arnaz later praised Frawley's professionalism. He never missed a day's work, nor was he even a few minutes late during all the years he was with us. Frawley's dedication and comedic timing made Fred Mertz an unforgettable character. Paired with Vivian Vance's Ethel, the Mertzes became one of television's most beloved duos. They provided audiences with countless laughs and memorable moments. This casting decision highlights the instincts of Ball and Arnaz as creators. Despite the risks, their faith in Frawley paid off, proving that sometimes taking a gamble on an underdog can lead to sitcom gold. Special shoes. Desi Arnaz wasn't just a star on screen, he also stood a little taller off-camera thanks to his elevator shoes. Desi Arnaz had a subtle way of maintaining a sense of Cuban pride and masculine confidence with these specially designed shoes. These shoes discreetly boosted his height by up to 4 inches, ensuring he appeared taller than his wife and co-star Lucille Ball. According to Desi Arnaz Jr., the actor's son, the shoes weren't just about vanity, but reflected a deep connection to his Cuban roots. In Cuban culture, traditional gender dynamics often emphasize the man as the taller figure in a couple. For Arnaz, this small adjustment helped preserve his sense of identity and cultural pride while navigating the Hollywood spotlight. Lucille Ball, who stood approximately 5'7", often wore heels that made her appear even taller. This could have easily reversed the visual dynamic on screen, but Arnaz's attention to detail ensured the couple always looked just right in their iconic moments. It's a detail that adds another layer of charm to the star. After all, his talent and larger-than-life personality made him a towering figure in the entertainment world, both literally and figuratively. This subtle choice highlights how even the smallest details mattered in crafting the legacy of Desi Arnaz, a trailblazer who broke barriers and brought Cuban culture into American homes. Drowning in wine. One of the most iconic moments in I Love Lucy history almost turned into a real-life disaster. In the unforgettable episode Lucy's Italian Movie, Lucille Ball's character is seen stomping grapes with a group of local Italian women. The scene quickly became legendary, but what many viewers don't know is that it was entirely unscripted. According to producer Jess Oppenheimer, the chaos that unfolded behind the scenes wasn't part of the plan at all. During filming, Lucille Ball found herself in a real struggle when she began to argue with one of the women, opera singer Teresa Torelli D'Amico. The situation escalated when Ball accidentally got grapes up her nose. At one point, she found herself choking on the fruit, leading to a real-life moment of danger. Ball, ever the professional, kept going, and the cameras kept rolling, despite the near mishap. It wasn't until the cameras stopped that the crew realized what had happened. Ball was choking, and the team quickly rushed to assist her. Thankfully, she was fine after the brief scare. This unplanned moment of chaos was just another example of Lucille Ball's dedication to her craft and her ability to keep the humor alive, even when things went awry. The famous grape stomping scene remains one of the most beloved and talked about moments from I Love Lucy, showing that even unexpected moments could create television magic. Another rerun. Who knew that one of the biggest TV innovations came from a solution to maternity leave? In 1953, Lucille Ball faced a dilemma when she took time off to recover from giving birth. Meanwhile, CBS and the show's sponsor, Philip Morris, were keen on keeping I Love Lucy on the air. The solution? Air reruns of earlier episodes, something no one had really done in prime time before. But these reruns were not just any replays, they were a game changer. The success of these reruns can be partly attributed to the show's high-quality filming. Unlike most television shows of the time, which were shot on 16mm film, I Love Lucy was filmed on 35mm celluloid. This gave it a higher resolution and more lasting quality. This decision wasn't without sacrifice. Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball agreed to take a pay cut to use the more expensive 35mm film. But in the end, this gamble paid off. The reruns became a huge hit, helping the show stay on the air while the Arnazes took time for their family. More importantly, the reruns pioneered the idea of syndication. By selling the episodes, they made a staggering $5 million, turning reruns into a profitable concept that has lasted ever since. The first primetime rerun of I Love Lucy aired on November 5, 1956, with a special news scene featuring just Lucille and Desi. While it was filmed without a live audience and wasn't groundbreaking, it was a thrilling moment for fans. It was proof that sometimes the old can be just as exciting as the new. Thanks to this innovative approach, I Love Lucy set the stage for the modern rerun, forever changing television history. The pregnancy. When Lucille Ball discovered she was pregnant at the end of the first season of I Love Lucy, the future of the show was suddenly uncertain. Pregnancy, a natural part of life, was considered a taboo subject on television at the time. However, Lucille Ball's real-life pregnancy became one of the most iconic moments in television history. It sparked a revolution in how the media depicted family life. At first, there was panic. CBS, along with the show's sponsor Philip Morris, balked at the idea of having a pregnant woman on prime-time television. It was unheard of, and network executives feared the impact it might have on their conservative audiences. The show's producer, Jess Oppenheimer, knew that if handled carefully, this could become a major opportunity for the series. So instead of backing away from the issue, Oppenheimer and the cast pushed forward. The result? The groundbreaking episode, Lucy is enceinte, which aired on December 8, 1952. The word enceinte is French for pregnant. It was a clever euphemism devised to keep the network's conservative sensibilities intact. CBS even enlisted a priest, a minister, and a rabbi to approve the script. The situation might be viewed differently today. But the very idea of a pregnancy being addressed on television was controversial, and I Love Lucy was treading dangerous waters. Despite the risks, the show's massive popularity made it hard for the network and advertisers to say no. The episode, which dealt with the announcement of Lucy's pregnancy, was a significant moment in television history. The show continued to evolve in a way that would never have been possible just a few years earlier. It brought pregnancy to the small screen in a way that felt both relatable and family-friendly. What made the episode even more remarkable was the authenticity behind it. Lucille Ball was genuinely pregnant in real life. The emotional depth in her portrayal of Lucy's pregnancy on the show resonated with audiences. One of the most heartwarming moments came during the final scene of the episode. Lucy, at a nightclub with her husband Ricky, passes a note to him that reveals the big news. Ricky, who had no idea, is overjoyed and sings, "We're having a baby, my baby and me." The couple's genuine affection and excitement were palpable, and it was a tender moment that left many viewers teary-eyed. Following this iconic episode, I Love Lucy featured several more episodes that showed Lucy's pregnancy in real time. However, the production team had to get creative. As Lucille Ball was well into her pregnancy by the time the episode aired, the wardrobe department had to figure out ways to hide her growing baby bump. The solutions, including baggy clothes and capes, were less than subtle, but they kept the storyline moving forward. The culmination of this storyline came in the episode Lucy Goes to the Hospital, where Lucy gives birth to a son named Little Ricky. Not only was this episode a ratings juggernaut, drawing in over 44 million viewers, but it was also a historic moment in television. Remarkably, it aired on the same day that Lucille Ball gave birth to her real-life son, Desi Arnaz Jr. It's no surprise that the show's creators made sure the fictional pregnancy mirrored the real-life event as closely as possible. The success of the pregnancy arc on I Love Lucy did more than just entertain. It changed the landscape of television. The story arc proved that sitcoms could tackle real-life issues without losing their mass appeal. The episode set the stage for more progressive portrayals of family life on TV. Slowly but surely, the taboo around depicting pregnancy on screen began to lift. Interestingly, I Love Lucy wasn't the first show to feature a pregnant character. That honor goes to Mary Kay and Johnny, a show from the late 1940s, but the show had a much smaller audience and didn't provoke the same level of controversy. By 1952, television had grown into a more widespread medium, and the stakes were much higher. The Lucy is Enceinte episode was more than just a milestone in TV history. It was a turning point that reflected the changing dynamics of American society. By boldly addressing a subject that was once considered off-limits, Lucille Ball and the creators of I Love Lucy made history. They paved the way for future portrayals of family life on screen. In the end, their courage helped the show continue its massive success. Lucy's pregnancy remains one of the most memorable storylines in the history of television. Not married. When fans tuned into I Love Lucy, they fell in love with the hilarious bickering of Fred and Ethel Mertz. These characters were the quirky landlords and best friends of Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, but here's the kicker. Many viewers thought Fred and Ethel were a real-life married couple. Lucy and Ricky's on-screen chemistry mirrored their actual marriage, but Vivian Vance and William Frawley were far from a cozy off-screen pair. Vivian Vance reportedly bristled at the idea that audiences assumed she was married to Frawley in real life. For one, she found their age difference, nearly 22 years, unflattering, and made no secret of her disdain, once calling Frawley an old man. Frawley didn't take her remarks lightly and fired back with his own cutting sense of humor. He allegedly suggested Fred should insult Ethel on screen with lines like, "You've got a figure like a sack full of doorknobs." Despite their off-camera tension, the pair were consummate professionals. They delivered some of the most memorable comedic moments in TV history, making the Mertzes one of the most beloved couples of all time. Still, the idea that they shared any romantic connection in real life would have made Vance shudder. It would have also likely prompted one of Frawley's infamous wisecracks. Next time you watch I Love Lucy, remember that the magic of Fred and Ethel Mertz was all acting, with a dose of behind-the-scenes tension that added an edge to their playful squabbles. It's proof that great performances can transcend personal differences, even if the actors weren't sending each other Christmas cards. Stepping out? Hollywood's golden age wasn't all glitz and glamour. It had its fair share of scandal, and Lucille Ball wasn't one to back down when it hit close to home. According to Scotty Bauer's explosive memoir, Desi was a frequent client of his. Bowers was well known for catering to the private desires of Hollywood elites. Bowers described Arnaz as a sweetheart of a guy with a robust heterosexual appetite. "He often called me up for girls," Bowers wrote, adding that Arnaz was famously generous, tipping more lavishly than anyone else he'd worked with. But Lucille Ball, as iconic for her fiery personality as her comedic brilliance, wasn't about to let that slide. Bowers recounted a dramatic confrontation at a party where Ball stormed up to him. She slapped him across the face and delivered a memorable warning. Despite the public humiliation, Bowers bore no ill will toward Ball. In fact, he admired her strength. "Nobody ever messed around with Lucille," he noted. "Her temper equaled her charm." This revealing story sheds light on the complexities of the Ball-Arnaz marriage. It endured love, betrayal, and the pressures of fame, but not forever. While the Arnazes may have brought laughter into millions of homes, behind the scenes, they navigated a world of secrets and high-stakes drama worthy of Hollywood itself. It's final. For 6 glorious years, I Love Lucy brought laughter, love, and Lucy's delightful antics into American homes. But when the groundbreaking sitcom wrapped up its 180-episode run on May 6, 1957, fans were left scratching their heads. Why did such an iconic show end without a proper farewell? The final episode, The Ricardos Dedicate a Statue, follows Lucy as she accidentally breaks a statue meant for a Revolutionary Day celebration. The episode delivered laughs, but it lacked the emotional weight one might expect for a series finale. Even more surprising, the cast, including Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, had no idea this would be the last episode. The lack of a grand send-off left viewers feeling cheated, especially after 6 seasons of unforgettable moments. The end of I Love Lucy wasn't due to ratings. The show remained immensely popular, drawing 60% of households at its peak. Instead, the decision stemmed from behind-the-scenes challenges. By 1957, the grueling production schedule had taken its toll on the cast. This was especially true for Ball and Arnaz, who were also running their company, Desi Productions. Arnaz suggested shifting to an hour-long special format to ease the workload, which led to the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. The Lucy Desi Comedy Hour aired 13 hour-long episodes between 1957 and 1960. It featured guest stars and the same beloved characters. Filmed less frequently, the specials allowed the cast to take a break from the weekly grind. Despite its charm, this spin-off couldn't match the magic of I Love Lucy. Its final episode, Lucy Meets the Mustache, aired just 2 days before Ball and Arnaz's divorce. The real-life marriage of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz played a significant role in the show's conclusion. After 20 years of highs and lows, including Arnaz's struggles with alcoholism and infidelity, their partnership, both personal and professional, came to an end. Their divorce marked the end of one of television's most iconic couples. But their love and mutual respect remained evident, even during their final on-screen kiss in Lucy Meets the Mustache. While the abrupt ending of I Love Lucy left a bittersweet taste, its impact on television is undeniable. It pioneered the live studio audience format, revolutionized syndication, and broke societal norms by addressing controversial topics. Even decades later, Lucy Ricardo's antics continue to captivate new generations, proving that great comedy is timeless. Though the series didn't get the farewell it deserved, its legacy lives on as one of the most influential shows in television history. So, whether you're rewatching Job Switching or laughing at Lucy's Vitamita Vegamin commercial, remember that I Love Lucy will always hold a special place in our hearts. The controversial moment that pulled I Love Lucy off the air is a reminder of how much television has evolved. What was once deemed too risque for audiences now feels like a footnote in a groundbreaking legacy. Lucy and Desi didn't just make us laugh, they pushed boundaries and redefined entertainment. If you enjoyed discovering this fascinating chapter of TV history, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes secrets from Hollywood's golden age. Share your thoughts below. What's your take on this controversial scene? We'd love to hear from you.